This is the iDealBed 4i Custom Adjustable Bed Base. The real win for me is how fast my body relaxes in the zero gravity preset. My lower back pressure fades, my legs feel supported, and the motion getting there is smooth enough that I barely notice it happening. I live with a mix of everyday back tightness and the bad habit of working from bed. So an adjustable base is not just a luxury thing for me. It is a tool to make sleep and downtime more comfortable and more useful. If you read in bed, watch shows in bed, manage back or hip strain, or need a little help keeping your airway open at night, this sits in that sweet spot where comfort and function actually make a difference. Design-wise, the iDealBed 4i looks like real furniture and not like hospital gear. The charcoal and dark gray finish blends in with the rest of my bedroom instead of shouting for attention. The upholstered sides are soft to the touch, and they save my knees from sharp corners when I slide out of bed in the dark. The frame itself is heavy steel with thick connection points, so it feels planted even before you put a mattress on it. The setup uses 6 legs that simply screw in. They are height adjustable up to about 15 inches. That mattered to me because I placed the base inside my existing wooden frame. I could dial in the height so the mattress sits just right and the headboard lines up the way I like. Underneath, the motors are compact and tucked in neatly. There is a clean control box that is mounted securely. The wiring is rooted with intention and nothing hangs loose. There is an under-bed light that surprised me the first time I plugged it in. It is practical when you want to see the floor without turning on a lamp. There are universal serial bus charging ports on both sides, which sounds like a small thing until you wake up and realize your phone is topped off, and you did not have to get up to find a charger. The handheld remote is larger than a typical television remote, with backlit buttons that you can read in a dark room, and a tiny flashlight built in that I have actually used more than once to grab a dropped cable. Setup was easier than I expected for something this size. I unpacked it, screwed in the 6 legs, and flipped it onto its feet. The frame is heavy, so having a second person makes it safer, but the process itself is simple. The legs thread in cleanly, and you can adjust them in small steps to get the height where you want it. Once it is powered, the remote links without fuss. I did not have to dig through menus or hold odd combinations of buttons. The whole thing took less time than I had budgeted, and that was a pleasant surprise. Using it day to day, the motion is the first thing I noticed. When I raise the head or the feet, the movement is smooth and unhurried. It is quick enough that I am not waiting forever to get comfortable, but not so fast that it jolts me awake or startles a partner. There is a gentle hum from the motors, and it fades into the background after a couple of nights. The frame does not wobble. When I shift my weight or sit up to reposition a pillow, it feels solid. I like that the transitions between positions are gradual and predictable. When I tap the flat button to go back to a neutral sleeping position, it glides down evenly with no odd bumps at the end. The presets make this base a lot more than a motorized hinge. Zero gravity is the one I use the most. It lifts the legs and angles the back to a sweet spot where my lower back relaxes and my hips decompress. If I am reading or typing, I tap the head up a little bit more, and it holds that position without creeping. The anti-snore preset raises the head just a touch. I do not consider myself a snorer, but I tested it on nights when my allergies were acting up and breathing felt easier. The flat button is great for when I am half asleep and do not want to think. One press and everything returns to level. The remote never needs to be aimed. I can leave it on the nightstand, press a button without pointing, and the base responds every time. The massage feature surprised me. It is a full-body vibration system with several modes: wave, pulse, and constant, and 3 intensity levels. I expected it to feel gimmicky. On low intensity after a long day, it turned out to be relaxing. It is not a deep tissue massage. It is more of a gentle thrum that takes the edge off sore legs and lower back. The built-in timer matters because I do not want it running after I fall asleep. On higher intensities, I did notice more vibration noise. It is not loud, but on a quiet night you will hear it, especially if your frame or flooring resonates. I had a squeak early on that turned out to be a couple of bolts that needed a quarter turn. Once I tightened them, the squeak disappeared. Real life, this base changes the way I use my bed. For work sessions, I raise the head and lift the legs a touch so my laptop sits at a better angle and my neck does not strain. For watching shows, I tilt the head a bit more and set the massage to wave on low, which feels like a very slow rolling motion under the mattress. When I get up for water at night, the under-bed light is handy, though it is bright. It lights up the space under the bed like a small spotlight. There is no dimmer. If you want a soft night light that stays on, you will need something else. I like the universal serial bus charging ports because they charge at the bed without extra cords. But depending on your mattress thickness or how snug your bed frame is, you might have to reach a bit to plug in. With my thicker mattress, I learned to plug in the cable once and then just connect my phone by feel. Sharing a king-size mattress on this base has been good. It feels supportive across the whole width, so I do not slide or tilt toward the middle. When I adjust positions, the movement is smooth enough that it does not shake the other side. That is important for me because I am a restless sleeper. The base keeps its composure when I roll to my side or sit up to take a sip of water, and the return to flat in the middle of the night never wakes anyone. I also tested the emergency battery backup. The system uses two small 9-volt batteries to power a single move back to flat if the electricity goes out. I unplugged the base to simulate an outage, and the backup did exactly one smooth return to flat and then stopped, which is the intended behavior. I keep a couple of spare 9-volt batteries in the drawer now, just in case I get caught in an upright position during a storm. There are a few quirks worth knowing. As I mentioned, the massage on higher intensity can make a noticeable vibration noise. It is not harsh, but it is there. The under-bed light is useful but too bright for a sleepy room, and there is no way to dim it. The legs are plastic. That felt odd at first because everything else is heavy steel, but I have not had any stability issues. I have a heavy mattress and 2 adults, and the base has stayed rock solid with no flexing. The universal serial bus ports are on the side, which makes sense for cable routing, but if your nightstands are tight to the bed, you may need to reach around to find them. None of these are deal breakers for me, but they are real traits that will matter to some people. The little thoughtful touches add up. The remote has a backlit layout that is easy to navigate in the dark. The flashlight on the remote sounds silly until you drop a ring or need to read a label without turning on a lamp. The adjustable leg height means you can keep your existing bed frame and still get the benefits of an adjustable base. The steel frame feels like it will last years, and the motors have that calm, confident movement that inspires trust. The way the presets are set from the factory makes sense. I did not feel the need to tinker much to get comfortable. If you are looking for an adjustable bed base to support better sleep, to take pressure off your back and hips, and to make reading or working in bed more ergonomic, this is a strong option. It is sturdy, it looks good in a modern bedroom, and it puts the useful features in easy reach without overwhelming you with complexity. If you need a whisper-quiet massage at high intensity or a dimmable under-bed light, you may want to temper expectations or plan a workaround. For everyone else, especially anyone who wants the comfort of zero gravity at the press of a button and smooth transitions between positions, it delivers where it counts. I am keeping it in my setup because it helps me sleep better, and it makes my time in bed more comfortable and more productive. It gets the fundamentals right, and the few compromises are small compared to the overall experience. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future videos, and drop a comment below with your questions or your own experience with adjustable bases. I read every comment and I will try to help. Thank you for watching.